Hi, John Lay here from Talented Learning. Welcome to another episode of the Executive Briefing Series. I love this series because we get to travel the world wide virtually and review the best learning technology and learning system solutions. Today we have Desire to Learn and their Brightspace solution, and we're going to learn about their business, history, the markets they serve, core differentiators, and then we're going to dig deep and see a demonstration and have it all come to life. Desire to Learn? It's all yours.
Perfect. Great, John. Thank you so much, and thank you for having us here today. My name is Andra Pescu, and I lead our product marketing team at D2L, and I'm joined here by Ken Chapman, who's our VP of Strategic Projects at D2L. So we'll kick it off as a bit of an overview of our organization, who we are and what we do, and then I'll pass it over to Ken, and he'll share a little bit more of the ins and outs, give you a brief demo, and show you a bit of the platform.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
So in terms of who we are, we're actually an LMS company founded out of Kitchener-Waterloo in Canada. Our CEO, John Baker, actually founded the company while studying at the University of Waterloo as a systems design engineer. And he was tasked with a project while he was in school to develop a prototype of something that could change the world. And from that point forward, John decided that the best way that he could do that is by focusing on education, because if we can educate our people, then we're able to kind of change every single aspect of industry. Over the last 20 years as an organization, what started with the mission to transform the way the world learns has really been leading tech innovation and helping make learning more relevant, engaging, and valuable to achieve results for all segments, both kindergarten through grade 12 and the education side of things, and now within the corporate space. We've really made it our mission to kind of focus around designing a well-engaged workforce of the future for both today and tomorrow. So learning innovation is our passion, and it's something that we do on a regular basis, and it's because we believe in the potential of people and technology. We believe that together we can build those better experiences that end up delivering results. In terms of more specific numbers, at D2L, we're really passionate about helping millions of users around the world become better at what they do on a regular basis. What really kind of makes our organization interesting is that idea that it started off in the education space out of the academic arena. And what that allowed us to do is to focus on the better delivery of learning experiences, really understanding how people learn and being able to deliver that value to over 18 million users across 40 countries through our platform. So we've really been able to expand our reach and make an impact. Now, the reason why I'm giving you some of this historical background is because our background really impacts the way that we develop tools within Brightspace. And when you see the demo that Ken will show you in a second, it will help you understand that some of the things that make us different are pieces that don't exist in the more traditional LMS systems available in the corporate space. And again, that's simply because we built our platform with the learner in mind rather than with the compliance and the need to kind of deliver training in mind. So we're really focusing on that learner approach to our development, and we're really thinking about both automating enrollment, the delivery of courses, reporting, and really engaging members at every single step of the learner journey. Now, in terms of
16 million users is pretty significant.
It certainly is, and it's something that we're very proud of to have developed over the last 20 plus years in the space. And I might say that we do it quite well too. We've been able to maintain more than the 4 nines that you see on the screen on a regular basis. However, we try to, we like to under-promise and over-deliver. So we have a lot of users that have used our platform, especially during COVID. We've seen an increase in active users across the world while still delivering a lot more courses than we have in the past.
Wow, great.
Awesome. Well, aside from being able to kind of deliver the tools and the features that I have shared with you in the past, not only are we thrilled to have received various recognitions from renowned analysts and publications around the world in both the corporate and the education segment, what really excites us most is when our clients end up receiving recognitions for the programs and the work that they've done. We've had everybody from, the Chief Learning Officer magazine acknowledge some of our workforce academic partnership clients, all the way to Kaplan being acknowledged by the Learning Technology Awards. So it's really that partnership that sets us apart. We work very closely with our clients to help them succeed, because we know that when they succeed, we succeed as well. So one of the main reasons, aside from the tools and the system and the platform that you'll get to see in a second, one of the main reasons why our customers love us is the way that we work close with them to help them achieve their goals. In terms of who are those clients and who we focus our work on, Brightspace is really a use case platform when you think about it. We support the delivery of training across a variety of different segments. That being said, we do have areas that we kind of focus on. In terms of the continuing education space, we work very closely with a lot of associations, training providers, non-governmental institutions, and not-for-profits. We also support the delivery of customer and partner training mostly in the technology, financial services, and professional services space. And then last but not least, we work with a lot of different types of organizations around employee-based training and usually special projects that they're looking to run associated with digital transformation or like onboarding of certain executives within the organization. And that happens at a higher, more enterprise level of the types of companies. So we really our platform delivers value across the board, and again, we support all of our clients from that learner-centered approach and the ability to support them with their goals.
All right, a couple questions. So for continuing education, that would be what, like professional associations and for-profit training providers? Is that what you mean?
That's correct, John. So we have a number of different associations, like the American Nurses Association, for instance, that uses us to deliver continuing education training to registered nurses in the U.S. And then we have organizations like Kaplan that you saw earlier that help deliver sometimes some of those pre-certification or continuing education type courses. So we work with a variety of different providers in the space, but really helping them to deliver the training component to their members.
Excellent. And that's kind of a new category that I haven't heard framed this way, but employee-based special projects. So what's the assumption there, that there's probably some admin heavy LMS and they just really need a learning solution for something transformational? Is that the word you use? Like, could you give some examples maybe?
That's right, of course. So it really has to, just like you said, generally speaking, large enterprises have their LMS system that does a lot of, the compliance training and the everyday modules to keep people from a compliance perspective safe and make sure that the organization is operational at that level. However, what happens with a lot of those systems is that they're not as engaging as they could be when it comes to learning delivery. So you're lacking things around collaboration. You're lacking, the ability to leverage videos or conduct assessments in a more interactive form. Traditional LMSs have less social capabilities around connecting members or employees with each other. So really what we do best when we partner with those large organizations that are looking to deliver training internally, it's around certain, usually business lines that are looking to increase engagement with a goal in mind. So we get everything from onboarding of high-level execs or certain one of our clients, for instance, they leverage us to increase empathy training for their advisors within the bank, because they want to ensure that their advisors are prepared to have those hard conversations with clients. So those types of projects that aren't part of your everyday compliance-driven learning activities, they're more key initiatives or different types of programs that are intended to be more interactive and deliver value for the organization in a different way.
Oh, outstanding. Thank you.
Perfect. So in terms of, to tell you a little bit more about our organization, and Ken will show you in a quick second exactly what the platform looks like. But what really sets us apart, aside from the platform itself and the technology that we offer, just like I mentioned earlier, being very much focused around that end user and the learner, we also have a very extensive services arm to our organization. So what we do is really work very closely with with our clients, partner with them from the second that they walk in through the door, through the needs analysis that our implementation team would do, all the way to helping them increase the delivery and kind of maximize their ROI from the platform. So for instance, on the left-hand side, you see some of the services that are quite common with a lot of the LMS providers, but on the right-hand side are some of the things that make us a little bit different. So we have a learning strategy consulting arm to the organization that works with clients to help them understand the overall vision and plan a program and deliver it in a way that will achieve goals. We also have a learning and creative services team that helps build beautiful courses and really create those engaging learning experiences that deliver value. Our data solutions consulting group really supports clients and executives get more out of their reporting and their dashboards. So as an organization, we've made it our business not only to deliver an innovative platform, but also to ensure that we have all the services associated with it that our clients would require in order for them to do a better learning job.
Wow. No, I see that for sure. It is a core differentiator because so many platforms now in the industry really are about exactly that, the platform and just turning it on and giving yourself the self-service tools. But, consider the industry of extended enterprise with customer and partner training, the special projects and the continuing education. Those are three sectors that those buying organizations appreciate and want a lot more help, from a service and a solution standpoint. So I could see how that would really work in your favor.
That's right. And I mean, and the organizations that have the teams, able to just get the platform and hit the ground running, that's great. They can do that. But if, just like you said, the ones that don't and would require additional expertise and don't necessarily want to create a full-time position and, acquire the additional costs associated with new roles in the organizations, can leverage us to still deliver upon their goals.
Even that delegated administrative, or not even, but that delegated administration piece is so big. Organizations, you have to, until you hire somebody and you train them how to do it, even if it's only one or two people, a lot of times if you could just hit the ground running with some help like that, organizations would choose that most times out of not, I think, just to for efficiency's sake. So, but it's not something that I see every day. So it's nice that you have that built into your solution as an option.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of our clients take us up on it. So we're definitely happy to continue to grow with our clients and ensure that we're delivering value in the way that they need to achieve their goals. The other thing that I wanted to share with you in terms of what we've been up to, and actually we're very excited to have had you join us this, a couple of weeks ago, this past month. Over the last, because of COVID, we usually have every year a users conference where we like to get together with our clients, as well as some potential prospects, and just get an understanding of what the industry needs from us and how we can be better. Now, with the world kind of on a bit of a halt, we decided to take the 3 days that we used to have, usually in the summertime, and blow them out over the course of 6 months. So from July until the end of December, every single month we have 3 days where we're delivering value and content and lots of learning and kind of sharing with our clients some of the work that we're doing, but also helping them think differently by listening to their peers. So if you or any of your members are interested to kind of learn more about the latest in learning innovation, then they can head to d2l.com/fusion and join us for the last 2 months of our Fusion tour.
Wow, interesting. And in the spirit of eating your own dog food, is this, that now that you went from your own live show to, putting that virtually and all the thought processes to go from A to B, is that something that you offer as a service for your association and other clients that have live instructor-led events?
We absolutely do. So one of the things that they'll see when they join our Fusion conference is that we're actually delivering the learning on our own platform. So then they get a chance to understand as a learner what it's like to use Brightspace for some of the learning delivery. And then on top of that, we have a dedicated service and package that we have developed to help with virtual events and help with usual annual conferences and those types of activities that associations often are looking to deliver, but now within this new world, they're needing to rethink and do differently. And what we've seen is that a lot of our clients that have taken us up on it, because we don't just think about how do we take the learning from in person to virtual, we really think about maximizing that online delivery. They've really seen better engagement, and they've actually been able to get more members joining some of those annual conferences than in the past, because now there's, the travel is no longer a barrier, which is generally why a lot of people aren't able to join. So it's really opened the door for a lot of our clients to be able to deliver more value to their own members and users.
Wow, neat, neat.
Yeah, and we're very excited to have had over 10,000 people join us already, and more counting. 2 more months to go, so be sure to join us if you can. And that's kind of it for me. I've given you a bit of background, and now over to Ken to show you a little bit more about the actual platform, so you see what Brightspace looks like.
All right, we can't wait to see it.
All right. Hello, John. Hello, Talented Learning members. Let's get to know Brightspace a little bit here. So what you see on your browser, I'm logged into Brightspace as an administrator. But as we see and we go through and look at this as different roles, everybody kind of sees a very similar view in Brightspace. And you can really easily switch between what does somebody else see in the environment just in this little personal dashboard kind of thing here. So I can switch between the different roles that exist in Brightspace. I can create as many of those as I want. And I can get really, really granular in terms of what can these people do in terms of the business practices that your mentors, coaches, managers, employees, or extended learners might have. As a learner or as anybody that's within Brightspace, I choose where I get all of my notifications and what I want to get notified about. I have all of my contact methods. I can get texts for Brightspace. I can choose which things I care about. And if I want to get push notifications, we've got an app that can be downloaded that has really awesome ratings on the App Store, and then I can get everything pushed to me so I don't actually have to log in and know if there's any updates happening in Brightspace or things to stay on top of. And what's nice is no matter what learning paths I'm subscribed to or learning I'm looking at, all of my notifications, chats that are happening, social conversations, updates on feedback or new content or messages, all of those get organized in one spot for me right at the top here, so it's nice and convenient. Brightspace is responsive, so we built it so that it's going to work on any browser. So basically, if you have a device that can display a modern browser, Brightspace and all of its capabilities are going to work there. So for example, if I'm on a laptop like I am now, it looks like this. If I'm on a little bit more constrained screen real estate, it kind of shuffles down and takes organizes effectively like maybe on a tablet. And then all the way down to like a phone, again, it's going to respond that way. So a really handy way of making sure that all of the capabilities of Brightspace are available regardless of the device. And that way, when we build native apps, that's for things like I want to view my content offline, I want to get notifications pushed to me, or I want to take advantage of some of the ways that you can present and look at information that's not possible in a web browser. Brightspace itself as a platform is really flexible. So you heard Andrea talk about all of the different types of organizations and the different types of learning delivery models that we support. We talked about professional associations and continuing ed, partner and customer training. So let's look at a few ways that you can configure and set up the platform to deliver these kind of models. So the first one I want to look at is a leadership course, but one that's self-paced. So one that every employee can go through and work at their own pace. And when setting up some learning for self-paced leaders, it's all about the content. I want to have it really, really simple, and I want to make sure that the employees get the content they need and the system just gets out of their way. So here, I can create a mix of content that I want in this leadership class. I can create a to-do list that the employee checks off, and based on what they check off, I can release different things for them. I can give them badges and awards. I can show the progress, and I can demonstrate that there's some level of engagement in their performance. I can do things like create interactive materials. So here I have a nice little a piece of content that was built actually using Brightspace, and I can go and create an activity, interactive. I can submit some answers and get some immediate feedback and move along. So really nice, high quality looking content. Again, it's going to display nicely on any device that I display it on too. None of that really awful pinch and zoom kind of stuff that can happen on a phone when an employee picks up a learning system. And similarly, I can weave in different types of content like discussions. So if I look at this actually as a learner, and I go in and see what they see in this self-paced course, Really, really simple. Again, content's king. I can pick up right where I left off, and I was looking at a discussion right at the end. I can see what I've already completed and what's left to complete, and I can just jump to the right piece of content. So here as a learner, I'm in a discussion. I'm talking about motivating employees. And again, to try to make this more modern, feel a little bit more engaging, we're not relying on everybody to type out text of all of their posts. So we make it really easy for anybody throughout Brightspace to just use a video. Hook up the webcam and start recording a video as part of their session. Unfortunately, because I'm screen sharing right now, you can't actually see my webcam because it's utilized once, but trust me, my face is right there. And I can drop that into a discussion. We'll see what it looks like in a second. And away I go. And so this is really helpful when you're giving instructions on a learning activity. This is helpful when you want to do some peer-to-peer sharing and mentoring, and when you want to do coaching and scenario-based learning as well.
Cool.
So that's how we can do a self-paced course, but we can also make it so it's cohort-based. So, Andrew was talking about the special projects that might happen, where you may have a cohort of leaders going on and doing some really, high production value sort of learning around leadership courses. So here, when it's cohort-based, it might look a little bit different. Here things are presented to the learner in a little bit more of an open way. They're not just taken right into content, but they're actually able to see the different areas. There's some dedicated discussion areas. They can see who's in their class and their cohorts. For the content and the materials, they can resume where they left off and see progress individually for all of the different units or modules there. There's some sort of semi-synchronous interactions that can happen. There's an activity feed. So as a member of this leadership cohort, I can share a link that was really interesting and why. My peers can comment back on that, and we can have some interactivity there. I can get awards, and I can see what types of things there are for me to unlock. So here I get awarded a badge if I reply to a couple discussion threads. And Brightspace is really, really built around this idea of rules. And so you can define any badge or award that you want based on behaviors that people are exhibiting in Brightspace. So you can create sort of graduated awards that show someone as a beginner, intermediate, expert. You can create little Easter eggs within a program, and you can show certification through this sort of rules-based approach as well. Really, really flexible to recognize both progress and achievement.
Mm-hmm. What are some examples of things that can go towards the awards? In a lot of learning systems, it is training progress and completion. Is there anything broader than that gets added to that?
Yeah, actually, rather than go through and show it for brevity, it can be their performance on a quiz. It can be an evaluation they received when somebody was looking at a video submission they provided. It can be the number of original posts that they provide in a discussion area. It can be the number of replies. It can be the fact that they've just completed, they did the activity and it's a checkbox and it's completed. This can even be based on logic too. So you can group together, there's a set of activities or performance thresholds that are required to move to this award. There's a higher performance threshold to go and get, the ninja version of that award.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. That's much broader than I typically see. What about for those of us that don't know exactly what a cohort is, which is probably more than you would think? Is the cohort the same as a class? Is that the way to think about it?
Yeah, it could be a loosely defined class. It's a group of individuals that are all working through this program of learning in roughly the same time period. They tend to be discussing the same materials and working through a lot of the same learning activities at the same time together. So it's creating a bit of a sense of camaraderie and community within that cohort as well.
I see. Thank you.
Okay, and so we're looking at learning like this as well. I've got access as someone that's managing the learning to look at things like progress. So we can start to take advantage of the data that the system is tracking. I can see all of the content that an individual has viewed, any scores on quizzes or knowledge checks, how much they're participating in discussions, and I can configure this to look at different things like if there's assignments to hand in or what have you. For each individual, I can drill down and look at all of their individual stats. and things like that. So lots of reporting and information is sent out this way too. And like I mentioned before, when people are taking the course in a cohort at the same time, often discussions and interaction with other people taking the course is part of it. So here, there'd be some pre-built discussions around introductions and expectations. And again, here is somebody that's taking advantage of that webcam and using video throughout Brightspace rather than, more of the boring, flat sort of just type in, hello, my name is, and I'm from this place sort of discussion post that you might be used to.
Jared looks like this guy, Ron, I know.
He actually looks like a different guy I named Jared with a G. That's weird. I actually don't know who that is. And then there's other ways that we can use Brightspace too. So that rules-based approach we talked about before can actually be really powerful. So here I've got a new manager training course in Brightspace, and it's kind of adaptive in a sense. And what I mean by that is when the learner first comes into this new manager training, they're given a checklist and they're asked, what do you want to learn? And so here they're just given, what areas do you want to improve? Do you want to be better at delegating tasks, performance reviews, management styles, etc. And based on what the learner says they want to learn, these different modules or these different areas below are what gets released to them. So they basically dictate, this is what I want to see in my learning path for new manager training, and these are the skills that I want to go and sharpen. And so you use that rules-based approach, same thing we use for awards, to go in and dictate that kind of logic within the course.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nice.
And in Brightspace, we're trying to do a lot to really take advantage of video. We're finding that really engages people. It really gets them excited, and it meets their expectations for that modern experience online. So we're doing a lot of work with video assignments. So here we've got in a coaching module a conversation practice assignment. So where the employee is going to have to go and submit a video of themselves practicing some conversational skills that are part of this sort of coaching skill set that they're learning. So here, Mary has made a submission to me, and I'm here to give her evaluation and feedback. And so she submitted a video assignment. I can view that right here. I'm able to give her comments and tag that directly to the right points in the video. I can record my own video, giving her feedback about, that was a nice way to take this conversation, but here's a different way I could have done it, and I can model that behavior. Hand gestures, maybe too many hand gestures and all. And what's really cool is I get a little bit of extra analysis. There's a little bit of, I hesitate to call it AI, but there's some intelligence built in here that helps me get a little bit of a quantified view of what's the quality of this submission. So it tells me things like the clarity of speech, tells me how often I'm using filler words, what my rate of speaking is. And you can even bring in some key terms that you're expecting to hear. If this is geared around a sales pitch, for example, you may be looking for key terms around a new product release or part of your brand message, for example. So really good background information that can be fed directly to the employee, but also into the evaluator to help them give some really good feedback.
So the key terms context, so that would be something administratively you would set up just as part of the administrative piece, and then it listens for that essentially through the intelligence.
Exactly. Yep.
See. Wow, neat. Never seen it.
Cool. And content, making content look engaging and easy to manage is a big part of making sure that learning experience is really top notch, right? And that they get what they're looking for there. So when we build out our content management tools, everything's drag and drop. Anything that I want to bring in off my desktop, I can just drop it in Brightspace and it's going to display. But we really try to encourage the creation of really high quality content and content that's going to look good on all devices. So here, if I go and create a brand new piece of content, I'm going to create a new file from scratch. Brightspace has this idea of content templates built right in. So instead of having to start from scratch and end up building, a pretty crummy layout and not really engaging look and feel, I can start from a document template. So here I can say, I want to build something that reveals information, as people click in, and there's some interactive elements. So I'm going to create something new in Brightspace. It's got this some imagery built in. I can swap it out with something that's more on brand for my organization. But as a subject matter expert, then I can just start filling in the content, and it's already all formatted for me. It's already all responsive, so it's going to look good in mobile. I've got this idea of these accordions here. So when I look at it and just preview it as what a learner would see, as I fill out that content, it's going to give me those little interactive areas and the little slide out animations. And it's like high production value content, but it's just me creating it. And it's just as I'm banging through Brightspace. So lots of different ways to try to create really engaging and top-line content, whether it's video or whether it's trying to leverage sort of the best of the web and make that easy to bring into your own learning experience.
Nice, nice. Big time saver. Click that again. Let's see what other templates you have.
Oh, there's tons, yeah. So here you can have some that, it's just meant to be, meet an individual. Let's say you have a guest speaker, here's where I drop in their image, contact info. Again, if I want to make this a video and use my webcam to do that, I would just go to this same insert stuff, and that's the stuff I would insert would be my webcam.
Wow.
So these can actually all be customized as well. So again, as Andrew said, some organizations are more sophisticated than others. If they want to go and take all of our style sheets and really nail it and put it on brand or deploy that out to their customers, they can all do all that stuff behind the scenes in the platform too.
Great, thank you.
And then I can go on a long time on some of the, the back end capabilities that we've been building out over 20 years building Brightspace. But I'll just touch briefly on, we've created the ability to pull all of the data from Brightspace out, and not only do we have reports embedded within Brightspace, but all of the data is easy to export through an API or just through data exports. We have the ability to do things like organize learning groups. So to look at, what attributes, what rules do we want to create for who becomes part of that leadership cohort, for example. So here, I picked out, here's the rules that I have for my leaders and who becomes part of that cohort and works through that content that we saw together. And then once I create those things, I can go and track those through the organizational structure. So I can look at, who are the teams that report up to me and that I've assigned learning out to, and how well are they completing those things. So I can get a sense of, at the different skill level, who's completing all of the work, or I can drill down to the individual employees to do things that way. So back-end wise, lots and lots of different flexibility of how we track, the real wide range of different learning experiences that we can support on Brightspace.
Great.
And that's the quick tour, John.
That's the quick tour. What's the difference between a learning path and a course? They seem like the same based on your timing.
They're a little bit similar. A learning path is a way that you can organize multiple courses into, this is one unit to take on. So for example, I've got a learning path for new leader onboarding. So I'm bringing on a brand new employee and they're at a manager level. So they've got some extra training that they need to do. So here they're going to be picking up an onboarding course, leadership, and new management training sort of as that bucket, and they can track completion along that.
I see. Well, great. Great demo and great introduction to your organization. And it's interesting to see. So I've been following the LMS industry for a while. It's hard. It's difficult for organizations to come from academia and move into corporate. But it looks like you found some nice paths where the strengths of academia really turn into super competitors or differentiators inside the corporate space. And so, some things that I really like is, just the organization of the content creation, little things that you probably wouldn't consider, maybe you do, like the video submission, the video answer, that type of stuff you just don't see very often in systems. The concept of the templates to get you going, and just in even some basic things, but to create that speaker page, if you want to do that in HTML and you didn't have that template, you could waste all day long or 2 days, doing something like that and not have as look as nice as that. And so be able to, integrate that and the other social capabilities in a mobile responsive and a mobile app way provides, a lot of flexibility. I love the concept of defining out the special projects too, as that's really a need in the corporate space. So many organizations, as a lot of our listeners know, and you probably know, over the years got caught up in the talent management platforms. And so, not only do they have the LMS, but they have recruiting, they have performance management, they have succession planning, all tied into there. And those organizations only spend, that much of the pile of research and development dollars on the learning system, and most of it is learning delivery. And so what you guys have been able to do is kind of combine content creation with learning delivery. And, because you can get your data in and out, it looks like it's really easy to just lay on top or augment these solutions and provide a point in time, high quality experience. wrapped with a lot of services. So, all those things I can see would be really valuable in the marketplace, especially in the verticals of continuing education, extended enterprise, and special projects that you've chosen as your primary punches. So, love it. Keep up the good work. Thanks for stopping by here on our tour and telling us all about it. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Our pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Talented Learning Executive Briefing Series. We hope to see you on the next.